everywhere. People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the
Who
noise.
heard?
The money push me.
Rock steady crew.
Close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes
Kenny
me wonder how
Burns.
I keep going under. Standing on the front stool, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze blow. Crazy lady living in the bag, eating out of cowbell, used to be a fag hag, such a that's a tango. Skipped the life and tango, a zircon princess, seen her lost her senses. Down at the peep show, watching all the creeps, so she could tell her stories to the girls back home. She went to the city and got so severe, she had to get a bitch, she couldn't make it on her own.
Come on now.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Executive producer.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder.
Happy birthday, hip hop. Hip hop was invented in the Bronx many years ago on Sedgwick Avenue. And today's its birthday. Shout out Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, the Rocksteady crew. I was on the plane. What's up, Jay? Trees, what's up? I was just on the plane from New York. No matter what happens, I'm scared of planes. So I was tearing down that Ciroc Legendary. This is Women Empowerment Week. We have a huge guest on tonight. Sorry for being a little bit late, but still in all, we better than everybody. What do you want me to do? If I ain't show up, you be mad, because we better than everybody. Don't let nobody lie to you. We back home, you see Hector Lavoe up there. You heard that shit I just played, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, The Message. One of the greatest hip hop. But if I ain't play it, nobody else would, though. You see the jewel? Manuel Lewis, the big show. If I ain't play it, who's gonna play it? And so I woke up last week and I said, this week's Women Empowerment Week. And boy, I knew something ahead of time. I ain't gonna lie, it was just a coincidence. But shout out Joe Biden for making that move. Kamala, first African-American female going for vice president. Ivan Barrios, what's up, my brother? Thank you for the pick. We the biggest in the game. So that's, if for nothing else, that's Women Empowerment Week. Timberland the King. Welcome to the biggest show in the game. I'd rather you just let me hold your phone, Azzy. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going to write, you're going to write all that. You want to die to write. You know, I got a couple of questions for this very extraordinary guest, Tamika Mallory, and let me get it, Az. And so I wrote them on a plane, which is pretty weird because I've written songs on the plane. It's a certain focusedness of being in the now when you're on the plane. So I've written songs and notes and all type of stuff, you know, really good stuff on the plane. So shout out to the Khaled family, Nicole Khaled, for letting me be a stowaway, me and my family on that private. You know what I'm saying? Salute them. You know what I'm saying? For taking care of that one. So tomorrow night we got Tiffany Haddish. You know, Friday, it's looking like Cardi B. Thursday is where I'm trying to pull something off and these girls ain't calling me back. I'm trying to pull off something legendary on Thursday. I don't even want to say, I can't say it until I tell them. You know, now I'm a journalist. I'm media. So now when I call people, it's not just Joe Crack is calling them. Now it's like, yo, uh, this boy Joe want us on his show. So it's a little different now, you know? As he be looking for Tamika Mallory, uh, I got a beautiful phone call today. I was smiling from cheek to cheek. LL Cool J, James Todd Smith, he'll be on next week. Shout out to Revolt TV. Tonight will be the debut. It's the T.I. episode. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to everybody for making that possible. Assad Khaled, he's on there. Thanks for riding with me, Uncle Joe. Assad Khaled, boy, I tell you, that boy's special. We went to the Bronx Zoo yesterday, and I'm telling him, forget me. We got we got that Jungle Boy right there, boy. All eyes on him. Special, beautiful kid, man. Okay, wants to pause. Trace, there we go. Without further ado, as advertised, we never lie. The one and only Tamika Mallory.
What's
Tamika,
going on?
yo, where you at? You in the West Coast? Cause you still got
No,
sun.
listen, you're going to act like you know we live in Kentucky right now, fighting for Breonna Taylor. We live here.
So the sun is still on.
The,
The,
the light is
hey,
still out. Yes.
yeah, I'm in Miami right now. I just landed, and I'm sorry for being a little late, but you know I couldn't control the plane. And Sean King on the check. And what's up, Sean?
Hey,
And
Sean.
and I was like, I was trying to tell the pilot, this is serious gas. Like we really got to get there. You,
I would have done this with you anytime. Thank you for having me on. I feel special. You know, Famio is a big thing, a big deal.
yeah, you already know what it is. And you know, I say to you, what got you into activism? What got you into? Was it your family? Break that down to me.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm outside because it's the only place that's quiet in the house. Dinner is being served to the 25 folks that we have flown in nationally to stay with us in Kentucky while we really focus on this Breonna Taylor situation. And so dinner has been served now, and it's really loud, so I came outside to talk to you. And so, yes, my parents are activists, very involved in the movement. I believe, you know, a little bit before I was born, which was in 1980, they really committed themselves. You know, they had moved here from the South. They met in New York, and they committed to being in the movement. And that for us meant everything. You name it, we were in it. Going to the Nation of Islam, we went to the mosque, we went to the community precinct meetings, we went to any kind of Black empowerment space that existed. I grew up in Manhattanville projects in Harlem. So the front, hey Ruben Diaz,
Yes.
the the front of my housing projects was where all the Black folks were, and behind the building was where all of the Latino folks were. So it was all around Black and brown folks, and my parents were really involved in helping people on both sides. And so, you know, it was my parents' movement. I did what they said because there was no choice. It's very similar to going to church. You know, if they say you
Did they
got to go to
work?
church,
They work with Reverend Al? They worked with
yeah, they.
Reverend
Oh,
Al
right,
too, right?
right. Yeah, they have National Action Network. um, and so it was like going how people in families where church is important, you have to go every Sunday, there's no option. That's how going to rallies and Sharpton's organization, that's how it was for me. But then I guess I got older, I did a lot of running away from home, got in a lot of trouble, and I started dating a guy who is my son's father. He was murdered 20 years ago now, or 19 years ago now. And at that time, after he was killed, I think that's when I just started to own it. Like, I understood what my parents had been talking about. It sort of all clicked for me, because that tragedy is what really pushes most people to be like, this is my thing, I'm in it. And so it became my movement at the point that my son's father was shot twice. He was left in a ditch for 2 weeks before he was discovered. Shout out to Jason Ryans is his name. Let me call his name. Jason.
You know, I lost a lot of friends. I've been shot at myself over 30 times in my life. So I know what you're talking about. I've dealt with tons of police brutality, tons of police harassment. I wasn't a good kid either. I was in the streets. I was wilding. Some of it I deserve. And when I think of people like you, I think of people who speak for the voiceless. You know, for the kid who's in the project right now getting harassed by some cops, and they
Right.
think nobody's gonna find out about
That's right.
it. And that's what's so beautiful about it, because, you know, everybody thinks God ain't watching, but he's watching.
Definitely watching.
You
Definitely.
know what
I'm
I'm
so glad
saying?
you brought up God. That's when I'm talking. Don't get me. I might have to jump up and do a little shout, a little
Nah, God
dance.
is everything. Because if you know
Every,
why, if you don't have faith, you ain't got nothing.
hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Puff,
Like I'm,
I, I told Puff yesterday, I was like, yo, that post that you put up about, it was this weekend. If God ain't in it, I don't want it. That's it right there. If he ain't in it, I don't want to have nothing to do with it.
everybody has their own relationship with God. Everybody has their own way of communicating with God. But you I know he's too real. So with me, I believe that we fight for everything, but we also have a little bit of luck of God on our side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me ask you a question. Has any movement been made in the Breonna case? Because I know you have been out there. You say you live there now. You putting the pressure on. Is any of these police officers going to get locked up? Do we think anything's going to happen?
You can never say what white supremacy is going to do. So I can't be too sure. What I know at this point is that the reason why it's taking much longer than we would hope or would expect, is because they're feeling the pressure like they have to do something, and they try and figure out what to do. One of the biggest problems, and I haven't really said this publicly, but since we're talking about it, I think that a big problem that they have is that some of the details of what happened that night, like the lying on the police report, lying to get the warrant application, if they fire people and arrest them for that, the folks going to turn around and say, we've been doing that. That's what we do all the time. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. Let's open up the records and show where we lie, every day to get a warrant. They lie, that. That's what they do. They
Yeah, we
lie.
see
But
this all the time.
right, but what happened in this situation is that a young woman got killed. And so it amplifies now what they've been participating in, which is the no knock warrants in the hood, lying on the, like, for instance, the police report had a line on there that said there were no injuries. Well, how the hell is there no injuries at
She's
the
dead.
scene? A woman got 8 bullets in her body on the ground. So they
That's
just
crazy.
lie.
So
So
I say,
so they say that they go ahead. You go.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say they say that something, should be happening soon, but the attorney general, who is a black man, who happens to be a Republican, but not just any Republican. I have a lot of Republican friends. I mean, I don't have a lot of them, but I do have Republican friends, and they are not Trump loving Republicans. That's very different. There's a distinction between being a Republican, which is something that may be in your family history. You believe in the original values of the Republican Party. You feel you're more conservative, but you still know that what is happening in terms of this period that we're in is wrong. But he's one that says things like Kentucky is Trump country. The he's gonna, he's out with Trump on the campaign trail. this black dude, and he's the attorney general of the state, and he is the one with the power at this point to arrest the cops. And so he claims that he's waiting on the ballistics report.
You know, black police showing out for the white cop. Ain't nothing changed. Know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed. You gotta keep the pressure. And this week I invited you because on the Fat Joe show, which by the way is the biggest show in the game.
It's the biggest show in the game,
This
huh?
is the biggest show in the game.
Nothing else moving.
Nothing moving right now. Let me tell you something. And what's crazy is this Woman Empowerment Week. And how important it was for you to get the women's, I want to say the right way, the women's, Million Women's March. What was
no, we're going to do away, and I'm saying this tonight on this show because everybody in the world is going to hear it because it's the biggest show in town.
That's right, Mama. That's right.
The Millions Women's March is the name of a march that happened with mainly women from the Nation of Islam. They planned it. Now it's been about 23 years ago. Okay, so when these
I knew
white
the Million Man March. I didn't know they did a women.
Yes.
I didn't know they did a Million Women's Men's March.
So there was a Million Man March, and then there was a Millions Women's March. Okay.
So what's the march that you helped organize?
That's what I'm about to tell you. So Jada Pinkett was out there at the Black Women's March. When the white lady who called for the march we did put out the call, because she put out an email to 40 of her friends. It's a part of the story. She put out an email to 40 of her friends. Her friends sent it out to other people. And by the time she woke up in the morning, she was nobody known. And by the time she woke up in the morning, 10,000 people were saying they're going to Washington, D.C. after Trump was elected. So that's how it all started. And then we got involved and organized it. And it was the Women's March, because when they put out the call, they appropriated the name of the 20-year before March. And the black women and black Twitter tore their asses to shreds. To shreds. So then they found
just call it the Women's March.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but
That's
you know, it might have been over 1 million people in that march. I watched it.
It was 5 million people worldwide. Yeah,
I seen that with my own eyes. I was in DC.
Listen, I'm the biggest thing in town. Ain't nothing else moving. That's it.
That's the biggest moment in the game. Yo, I tell you. And what was the meaning behind all these women getting together in solidarity? Like, what was the main message